Hello, my name is Cheyenne Johnson, and this is my capstone project for CJ 598 at Wichita State University. There are 4 overall problems that I think our criminal justice system has that need to be changed. The first problem that I think our criminal justice system has is a lack of resources and attention on rehabilitation. Many people who are incarcerated also have a drug or alcohol problem. Some wind up in jail or prison because of their drug abuse. Many people who are incarcerated never get treatment for their drug or alcohol abuse while in jail or prison unless it is requested or mandated by a judge. Because of this problem, people end up going back to jail or prison because they do something criminal to get their fix and make themselves feel better. This problem has led America in the recent years to begin to question if we should use rehabilitation for drug offenders. Since the amount of people that are in prison struggle with substance abuse, this is a huge problem in the criminal justice system that needs to change. One major solution to this problem is opening more mental health hospitals across the United States. There are many people who are incarcerated that should instead be in a mental health hospital because they struggle with some kind of mental illness. This treatment could be given along with treatment for their addiction. It would require a shift in society because, in my opinion, the substance abuse issue is an addiction, not a choice that these people make each day. We are starting to see that trend in America today. People are starting to move towards this idea that it is an addiction instead of a choice, but that just needs to keep increasing and it needs to start turning into laws. By opening up more mental health hospitals and hiring qualified psychiatrists, the people who are addicted could receive mandatory drug or alcohol treatment instead of or in conjunction with prison, depending on their crime. They could be sent to those hospitals to receive treatment instead of prison or in conjunction with. This would require an indeterminate sentencing structure or a flexible structure that allows more discretion with judges. This would allow the punishment to fit the individual versus assuming all substance abusers need the same treatment. With an increasing prevalence of drug use, particularly marijuana, more attention and time needs to be spent on addressing and preventing youth drug use. Parents, schools, and outside activities need to be using evidence-based research to inform children of drug use and implementing techniques to prevent it.
Problem number 1. Here is a fun example of someone who is clearly addicted to a substance and they just can't shake it themselves. Man, these Doritos are really starting to hurt my stomach.
Why don't you just stop eating them? I mean, it's an easy choice, right?
No, I can't control it. I'm not sure how to stop.
Just stop. Just put the bag away. It's easy. Just stop.
I don't know. I think I'm addicted.
Addicted to Doritos? No way. You're just choosing to eat them. Just put the bag up. Just stop.
It's not an easy choice. I can't help it. I wake up every morning and I have a craving for it and I can't control it.
We probably need to get you some help then. Eating that many Doritos cannot be healthy for you. We should probably get you some help, and I don't think you can stop eating them alone, so I'm here to help you.
I would appreciate that because this is my 5th bag today and it's only 3 p.m. Okay, I think you're right.
The second problem that I think our CJ system has revolves around the re-entry process for people who have served their time and are finally out of prison. Many people who are incarcerated face a multitude of challenges after they are released from prison. This is a major problem in the CJ system because about 95 to 97% of prisoners are eventually released. This means that the people we lock up will come back out, and we should value what happens to them since they become a part of society again, whether we like it or not. There are a multitude of reentry programs already in place, but the collateral consequences that prisoners face are carried with them throughout the rest of their lives. Collateral consequences are consequences that prisoners face after they have served their time in prison. They are a result of societal punishments and are also referred to as invisible punishments because they face impaired opportunities and some of their freedoms as citizens of the United States are taken away. This includes voting rights and the ability to get a driver's license. People released from prison are assigned a parole officer that they must meet with, and they must find transportation to see them. However, some do not have any social support to help them get to their appointments. Thus, this could result in putting them back in prison for violating their parole. Some prisoners choose not to go back to their old social groups because those people continue to make poor decisions, or they're how they got involved in the first place. And some do not have family support due to location or other reasons. By not having this support, they may find it easier to go back to prison because it is all they know. It is important that we help integrate them back into society. Some solutions for this problem. More reentry programs need to be put in place to help those that are released from prison. There also needs to be more opportunities for their success that also limit or intercept those collateral consequences. For example, all people on parole could receive a free bus pass or some form of public transportation, depending on where they live, so they can attend all of their appointments. Second, I would increase the number of halfway houses and try to increase community support for those houses. Since some people released from prison do not have any social or familial support, bringing it in from the community may help. Even forming a support group that these people who are released can attend would give them a sense of friendship, belonging, and support by being around other people that share the same struggles as them. No one understands their situation perfectly, except for someone else who went through the same thing or is still going through the same thing. I also think that once they are released, it needs to be easier for them to obtain a driver's license and potentially get the right to vote back. Those basic freedoms as citizens should be given back once they have served their time. It could also give them a sense of community and normalcy back into society.
Problem number 2 is reentry programs. So let's look at a fun example of someone who is going through one of the biggest challenges, which is transportation. Man, first day out, really excited. Gotta meet with my parole officer in about an hour, 45 minutes away. Not really sure how I'm gonna get there. Don't have a bike, don't have a car, don't have any money to get a car, don't have a job. They didn't help me with any of that stuff. I don't have any access to any of that stuff. I don't know how they expect me to get there. If I don't get there on time, it's a violation of my parole, getting it sent back to prison. Just not sure what I'm supposed to do. Hoping somebody will drive by, give me a ride. There's no bus stations close, so man, I really hope somebody comes by soon. I gotta meet with my parole officer in an hour. It's about 45 minutes away from here, down on 10th Street. I'm really starting to get anxious. Really need somebody to come by. Oh, wait. Sir, please stop! Please stop!
Man, were you doing alright?
Yes, hi. I was wondering if you could give me a ride.
Well, sure, where are you going?
Oh gosh, okay, thank you so much. I have to go meet my parole officer down on 10th Street.
Roll officer. Just get out of prison or something?
Yes, just today. I would really appreciate the ride. Really bad. No, please, sir. I know that sounds scary. Please, sir, stop. Please, no, please stop. I need a ride. I need a ride. Almost there. Okay. Please open the door. Oh my god, I'm a minute late. Please, hello? Hi, I'm here for my parole officer meeting at 1 o'clock. It's 1:01, you're late.
The third problem that I think our criminal justice system has revolves around juvenile offenders. Some juvenile offenders are treated like adults or are given adult sentences when they commit crimes. They are being sent to adult prisons where they learn how to commit more crimes and are subject to physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. They experience prisonization and belong to inmate subcultures, which teaches them things that cannot be reversed. Young children that commit horrific crimes scare society and are thus locked away for what they have done. Some solutions to this is that I think juvenile offenders need to be treated differently, completely different than adult offenders. In my opinion, the CJ system needs to change the way they treat juvenile offenders and understand that there must be more severe problems that they are experiencing that is causing them to commit these crimes. More attention and research needs to be given to these juvenile offenders because they're still growing mentally, and the crime could be a result of abuse, problems at home, or a mental or personality disorder. I think the juvenile offenders should still be held responsible for their actions, but not be given a harsh treatment or be treated like a long-time offender because they're two completely separate things.
Problem number 3 is juvenile offenders. So let's take a look at a fun and kind of extreme example of a clear juvenile who has committed a horrific crime and is now going to be stuck in prison with someone who is much bigger and stronger than him, aka an adult, and we're going to see how well he can adjust.
You know what happened yesterday? Yesterday, Jack stole my favoriteest ball, and then he went and did something unspeakable. He did nap time with Sally. Sally's my girl, and no baby ever messes with me and gets away with it. So you know what I did? I went and laced his bottle with fentanyl, and what does fentanyl do? It killed him. What's the worst that could happen to me? Maybe some time out, maybe my mommy gets called. I mean, I'm just a little baby, nothing's gonna happen to me. And at least Jack won't mess with me again. It's so worth it. First day in. Better step back, guards are shutting the gate, man. Heard you're in for murder. Better watch out those big boy land. Keep an eye out for Prison Mike too. He's crazy. You don't give him your milk, his gang will come for you. I'm your only friend in here. I can teach you how to steal cars, where to get the drugs from, and which guards are your friends and can get you things. Be careful, I got your back. Alright? Sounds good, man.
The fourth problem that I think our criminal justice system has is a lack of resources, research, and attention that is given to families and children of incarcerated individuals. They're starting to limit the amount of physical contact and visitation rules for prisoners and their family members. This is detrimental to cut off all physical contact from prisoners and their loved ones. It creates many barriers and can harm the relationship between the prisoner and their families. Visitation is taken away as a result of bad behavior, and some prisons are even moving towards video visitations only, like Skype. There's also limited research and attention that is given to these families and their kids for who is incarcerated. The number of children that have incarcerated parents is growing at an alarming rate in the United States, and more resources need to be given to these children. Their situation is unique. Children with incarcerated parents are treated completely different than children who has a parent that passes away or a parent that is away due to military reasons. It has many negative effects on children because their main caregiver is taken away from them, sometimes right in front of their faces in their own home, and they have to adjust to that at a very young age. Some are put into foster homes, given to their grandparents, or just given to whoever else is available at the time. Some solutions for this is that one, children just need to be given the opportunity of a support group or some kind of chance to talk to other children who are experiencing what they are experiencing. This increase of social support would help the children in many ways. On the flip side, allowing visitation for all prisoners, regardless of their behavior, physical contact visitation, needs to be offered and encouraged. Their family and social system will be something that they need and that they lean on when they eventually get out of prison, and we need to keep that relationship alive as much as possible. Overall, a major solution to all four of these problems would be to increase the amount of evidence-based practices that the criminal justice system uses. In the past, the system used techniques that they thought would be beneficial to everyone, or that they thought would work best. These thoughts and ideas do not necessarily have evidence-based research to back them up, to determine if it actually works or if it reduces recidivism rates. We are affecting the lives of real people. Our programs, treatments, policies, and laws are affecting the lives of real citizens. They have the power to destroy someone's life or build it back up and make them a better citizen and member of society. Your cousin, your sister, or your nephew could be experiencing this. It is absolutely crucial, in my opinion, to make sure that our programs, treatments, and punishments are effective and that research tells us so. We cannot continue to implement laws and punishments that do not help anyone and could in fact make their lives worse. By doing more research on these topics and growing in our knowledge, we will be helping the lives of those who commit crimes and their families, instead of just doing what we think is best. If I was in charge of criminal justice reform, this would be the basis of my changes.